let's move on to the next question. Next question says, how would the following changes in price affect total revenue? That is, would total revenue increase, decline, or remain unchanged? And so we have 5 different scenarios here, and so let's take a look at each of those scenarios. So first scenario A says price falls and demand is inelastic. So what we know for these types of problems is that we're looking to really tie in our understanding of the total revenue equation, which is price times quantity, with what happens on demand curves that are either elastic or inelastic. So for a demand curve where price falls and demand is inelastic, we know that a fall in price is definitely going to drive up quantity demanded. But because demand is inelastic, we know that the price fall will be greater than the quantity increase. We know this because this is given to us in the equation for sorry, my mouse is not working very well. Let me try this one more time. There we go. Okay. Let's go to this. Okay. So we know elasticity. One moment. So we know elasticity is given by the equation percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in price, right? It's a ratio. And we define elasticity as when elasticity is less than 1, we have an inelastic demand. When it's greater than 1, we have elastic demand. And when it's equal to 1, we have unitary elasticity. And so when you have inelastic demand, we know that percentage changes in, elasticity is less than 1, which implies to us that percentage changes in, and it's back to being all screwed up. One moment while I try to figure out this issue. Try this again. Nope. All the way for this to load. So if price falls, that means for A, the fall in price is going to be, the percentage fall in price will be greater than the percentage fall in quantity demanded. And so, yeah, this is just not going to work, so we're just not going to do this today. Okay. So for this one, total revenue would decline, right? The price fall is not offset by a correspondingly high increase in quantity demanded, so total revenue will fall. So for A, we think that the revenue will go down. And we can take a look at the previous year's answer, and they said for number 1, in elastic demand case, the price of commodity will be decreasing and quantity demand increases by a narrow level. This is going to decrease the revenue of the company. That's true. B says price rises and demand is elastic, so we know that a price rise causes a fall in quantity demanded, and we know that if demand is elastic, then the fall in quantity demanded is going to be greater than the rise in price. And so, in that sense, the total revenue will also go down for part B. So for part B, they say here there's an opposite reaction for a price elastic demand, and now the price increases, the quantity demanded will be increased, but the revenue of the company will decrease. That's true. C says price rises and demand is inelastic. So if price rises, we again know that quantity demanded will fall, but we also know that because demand is inelastic, the fall in demand will not be as great as the price increase. And so putting those two factors together, we'll take that the total revenue will increase there as well. For D, we can check 3. When the price is raised, the quantity demand will decrease, but revenue will increase. That's true. That's what we said. For D, price falls and demand is elastic. If price falls, we know that quantity demand will go up, and we know that because demand is elastic, the percentage increase in quantity demand will be greater than the percentage decrease in price. So the increase in demand offsets the decrease in revenue, and therefore total revenue is going to go up. So for 4, in this case, price will fall and the quantity will increase. This means the percentage change in price is greater than the percentage change in quantity. They got this flipped. The percentage change in quantity is greater than the percentage change in price. Now the revenue will be increased. And finally, E, price falls and demand is of unit elasticity. If demand is of unit elasticity, then the percentage change in price will be exactly offset by the same percentage change in quantity, so there will be no change to revenue. And so if the elasticity is unitary, the price and quantity will increase in the same manner. If price falls, the same results in quantity demanded, so the revenue will be the same. Okay, so we got the same answers as the tutor, same outcomes. Let's take a look at this first part. Price elasticity of demand measures the percentage change in quantity demanded due to a percentage change in quantity demanded. Price elasticity of demand expressed in the term of price and quantity demanded. Price elasticity of demand helps managers to determine the total revenue that will be increased or decreased. Some of the companies are cut their prices due to the reasons is that to increase their total revenue, also maximizing profit. Total revenue means that price is multiplied by the quantity of product, not the price of commodity. Increase the quantity of commodity will be an opposite effect. Now let's discuss the following. Okay, so I think we're going to mark the solution as incorrect even though the outcomes are the same. Some of the reasoning is bad, and also just grammatically, some of it doesn't make sense, and it requires students to do a lot of guesswork. So we're going to rewrite the entire the entire solution. So total revenue is given by TR is equal to P times Q. Elasticity of demand is given by ED is equal to percentage change in P. In Q, it's Q. Divided by percentage change in P. When elasticity is said to be demand is said to be inelastic if ED is less than 1, elastic if ED is greater 1, and unit elastic if ED is equal to 1. For question A, price falls and demand is inelastic. We know that ED is less than 1, therefore any change in quantity, any change in price leads to a disproportionately smaller change in quantity demanded. If price falls, quantity demanded goes up by a smaller percentage. So the price effect dominates and leads to a fall in total revenue. For B, price rises and demand is elastic. We know that ED is greater than 1, therefore any change in price leads to a disproportionately larger change in quantity demanded. If price rises, quantity demanded decreases by an even larger percentage, so the quantity effect dominates and leads to a fall in total revenue. C says price rises and demand is inelastic. We know that ED is less than 1 if price rises, quantity demanded decreases by a smaller percentage, so the price effect dominates and leads to an increase in total revenue. D says price falls and demand is elastic. We know that ED greater than 1, if price falls, quantity demanded increases by a larger percentage, so the quantity effect dominates and leads to an increase in total revenue. And finally, E says price falls and demand is unit elastic. We know that ED is equal to 1. Any change in price leads to a similar change in quantity, so the two effects cancel out and revenue stays the same. Okay, let's check to make sure all of our final answers are correct. So A says that we'll have a fall in total revenue, and that's met with the previous year's answer as well. B says a fall in total revenue, and B2 also says that. C says increase in total revenue, increase. 4 says increase in total revenue, increase. And 5 says no change, no change. Okay, so we marked this as incorrect just because this solution I don't think will be very helpful to many people, and I think the substitute solution is going to be better.